Welcome to another episode of Lockersfirst podcast. My name is Andre V, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Parcel Locus Central. And my today's guest is Lukas Beckedorff from One Stop Box. Hi, Lukas. How are you doing?
Hi, Andre. Thanks for welcoming. I'm fine. Hope you're doing fine as well, and I'm looking forward to talk to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lukas, you are the CEO of the most anticipated or most admired new startup in out-of-home delivery, One Stop Box. How do you feel? Do you have a lot of contacts? Everybody is willing to talk to you.
Well, well, it's somehow curious actually because CEO is a big word. Yeah, I didn't really realize it that I'm now the CEO of anything, but I'm proud to have the possibility to together with my team to build up such a solution. And yeah, for sure. Luckily, the feedback from the market is really good, and we got a lot of feedback. And as you said, a lot of people anticipated and are waiting for that. For sure, there are other ones, but it's like it is. But generally, the feedback is good, and therefore looking forward for all the different kind of cooperations we will see in the next years or month.
Absolutely, absolutely. We see everybody that the agnostic sort of local network is sort of admirable thing and the right thing to do. And now you are building it in a Germany that is very big market and you have very good backer as a DHL on your side. But your brand name is One Stop Box. To whom you are One Stop Box? Are you One Stop Box for carriers or One Stop Box for customers? Or
Hopefully for both. The general offer will for sure recognize the possibility to drop off parcels for the last mile, notified, but also directly addressed parcels. But also for recipients finally to drop their first mile parcels or returns. So the idea really is looking from a customer centric point of view to have one location where the recipient or the customer can receive all their parcels from all carriers. And I think this is the idea of the one-stop box, like one-stop shop or whatever you name it. Therefore, I think this is actually the most important point to also reduce individual traffic, which will be then the sustainable part of it. But also for carriers, I think it's good to extend their touchpoint networks in Germany as well, having the possibility to have central points for delivering, but also for receiving parcels there. And therefore, the one-stop box is not only for recipients or customers, but also for carriers and for the retailers, because we will offer a click and collect solution as well, so that they can, if they didn't yet, they can enter into the omni-channel and also can participate from the e-commerce.
it's very interesting to hear that you have plans also to click and collect. So this is a bit different market, but also from the customer point of view, again, I understand it totally. But talking about the out-of-home delivery market as such, Germany is still very home delivery oriented.
Yeah.
More than 60%, I guess, the
Yeah.
people are sort of preferences is home delivery. So, do you feel that the time is now right to start changing this preference, and do you see that you are able to change this preference?
Hopefully, I think the answer is hopefully. So I think it's definitely the time to begin to change it, because also from the labor market, but also from a sustainability perspective, I think it's absolutely necessary to change some learned behavior. And therefore, I think this is the right approach. And as you already said, so in Germany, we are known and would like to receive our parcels at a home address, especially in rural areas. But we are also seeing that, especially in urban or city and core areas, the demand for out-of-home delivery is increasing. And looking at the e-commerce market and the rising numbers of parcels, and looking at the decreasing numbers of labors and potential, I think this will be the solution. So this will the future for logistics companies here in Germany. And therefore, I think not only the the locker providers as we are, but also from a carrier perspective, they need to change something to incentivize the out-of-home market and so on. And therefore, we together can build the future there, and getting more sustainable but more efficient, and then even more convenient for all our customers.
I do share this view also. I think that this, especially this labor market thing, and the other option you mentioned, also the consolidation that parcel lockers are providing for the carriers.
Yeah.
This is where efficiency lies for sure. But talking about the locations, because this is one of the biggest things. So sometimes I describe parcel locker networks as a real estate companies, because the location is everything. So some skeptics says that that there is not enough places for public parcel lockers to provide good reach to customers. I think you don't agree with that. You see that this is possible to find good enough places to start serving customers.
Absolutely. So I think if we're talking about location finding, you could be in a position to say, well, we concentrate and focus only on public locations, right? But I think especially in Germany, this will take a lot of time. So I think it needs to be a combination of all kind of locations, private locations, meaning retailers, but also semi-public locations like residential building companies, but also about the real city and public locations, because all of those location types have one in common. They need to be accessible in the center of the life of the recipients. Because if we have a carrier, if we have a locker, if we have a public location, but none of our recipients will go there or live there or will receive their parcels there, doesn't fit. So we need to fit into the lives of the recipients, and this is all over Germany. And therefore, we need to have a good mix of all kind of locker locations and not only concentrate on one.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, my one learning from my history was that one locker location didn't work well, and we have to
Right.
change the locker 20 meters to the left, and
Yeah.
it immediately started to work. So in a sense, it's big science to
Right.
find the locations. But talking about the locations still more, you mentioned also rural areas and cities. Are you going to start with big cities, or what are your plan in expansion in Germany?
Yeah, so we will start definitely in big cities. Like we already talked about 5 to 8 focus areas like Munich and so on, because we think there is the biggest demand from the recipient side, but also from the carrier side, and therefore this will be our starting point. And as you already mentioned, in Germany, we are used to receive our parcels at home. And especially in the rural areas where you have place, where you have spots where you can like tell the delivery driver to drop the parcel in the garage or wherever, we have a lot of good recipient service over all carriers. And therefore, I think the utilization of a locker, especially in the rural areas compared to the core city areas, will be less efficient for all of us. And as we are still a business company and need to earn money, we are looking especially for bigger cities. Yes.
Yeah, and of course, talking about the lockers and locker sizes, most probably if there is a bigger locker, then this is more efficient for the carrier and also for network owner. So, talking about the sizes, are you starting to build up sort of with big lockers and then going to smaller ones, or you have every option already from the beginning in your toolbox?
So for sure, from a case perspective, we have an average of lockers, respectively, an average of compartments per lockers. But it's like the hen and egg problem, right? So if you build up a bigger locker, it will receive, from my perspective, automatically more shipments, more recipients will see the locker, which is actually the biggest marketing of locker is the locker itself. and therefore we have a minimum size, but for the size, it's really up to the micro spot where we can place the locker then. And therefore we are completely open from really small lockers as long as they are profitable, up to bigger lockers. We're completely open.
Yeah, talking more about technology a little bit, not going very deep to that, but now is the newest trend is sort of so-called autonomous battery operated lockers. Are you going with traditional ones with power grid lockers, or what do you think about autonomous lockers?
Oh, well, other way around. We will use autarky lockers. So we are using complete autonomous lockers based on solar panel, also equipped with a battery. Um, Also from a sustainability perspective, but especially from a building cost and from the convenience also for the location provider, right? So if you have the need to build up a line for electricity and everything like this, it's more complicated. It's taking more time. It's getting more costly on that side. So we directly start with an autonomous locker from the scratch because we see a better flexibility also to place the locker finally on the right place.
Absolutely, and I'm very surprised now because again this is most probably be one of the biggest autonomous lockers network you are starting to build immediately. So this is very good news, and then we will definitely everybody will get a good overview about that. But talking about now the agnostic network problems, and one of them is capacity planning, because you don't have your own volume, you don't have your
Right.
clients. The parcels will arrive in your doorsteps, and then you have to manage them. How are you planning to manage that? Do you have some kind of software solutions, or what? The next question is what kind of agreements you have with your carriers, in a sense? Are you sort of renting out a fixed number of compartments, or you are doing FIFO methods, or all this kind? I understand now I asked you five questions, but try to answer from the beginning.
Try to realize all of them and hopefully answer them in my answers. So first of all, for sure, we will have a software solution which will realize those capacity management problems, like prioritizing or not getting one or more shipments or more reservations in one time and something like this. So this will be a completely automated process, which will be, from our software perspective, will be integrated into the carriers from an API perspective. So if they ask for a compartment, then they're going to receive directly the answer whether it's free or not, and then they can reserve and book the compartment then and can drop the parcel or whatever. Um, so, in having said that, we want to have transactional reservation. So, I think not only from our perspective or from the carrier's perspective, but also from a recipient perspective or customer perspective, it only makes sense to get so much parcels as we can through one locker. And therefore, it doesn't make sense to reserve or block like 50% of one locker for one carrier without knowing, respectively, whether they're using it. So I don't want to have a network, or we don't want to have a network in Germany where we have like 5,000 lockers or whatever, which is just blocked or reserved by 2 or 3 carriers, but not used. So therefore, for sure, especially I think for peak times, there might be a possibility to block those capacities. But there will always be an open space, a pool of compartments which is always open. So all carriers can take place and all customers have the possibility to drop their first month shipments as well as receiving their last month shipments. So we are looking really into the individual transactional reservation and booking, but also have the possibility for sure to reserve or block a fixed number of compartments per carrier.
It's really good to hear, and but it's really challenging. Again, you are going to live constantly in not knowing what is the situation in a locker.
Right.
But in a sense, this is more the most efficient way for the system. Now, just let's go back a little bit to the customer also, and one segment that is very popular and special. Let's say maybe especially thanks to Vinted and Vinted Go is C2C deliveries. With agnostic network, it's a bit harder to arrange C2C deliveries. But do you see also C2C as one of your offerings to the clients?
So I think in an initial phase, our target is not to have like the direct recipient interaction. So it's more up to the carriers actually to offer products based on the network we offer. So we are a B2B enabler to say so, where the carrier or the retailer can offer their recipients to use the locker, whether for first mile or for last mile. And I think if you can offer a first mile product, which is just return, you can directly offer from a locker perspective the C2C product. And I think we just need to differentiate between from one locker to the other, which is standard logistics first mile process. And the other part is handover in one locker. So you, Andre, drop your parcel and I, Lukas, will pick it up. And then one stop box needs to offer a product on its own, right? And we actually now looking into that we always have one in between, like a B2B customer in between. And from my personal perspective, I'm not so sure whether this is the best option because I fear a little bit that this is the perfect handover for drugs and everything like this. Therefore, I'm not so into that handover at one spot. But if there is a client, well, which is click and collect service, right? So if any retailer wants to drop their food into the locker in front of their retail outlet and the customer will take it out, this is for sure possible, but not the private to private in one locker from our perspective.
Yeah, but again, we can talk about so many different vertical service like renting something or dry cleanings or whatever vertical solutions you can even imagine. So, Lucas, I think we have to wrap up this discussion. I have a feeling that we can talk hours and hours, but limit for our viewers also. Is there something you want to say, or is there some problems or challenges you are having, or you can make a call out to some partners or to some clients what you need in your everyday work today?
So thanks for the possibility at first. So thank you very much for having me. Luckily, we didn't receive too much challenges or realize too much challenges now. So there will be a lot coming up. So I don't mind. But I think we all together can make the future there. And I think it's a combination and a cooperation of carriers, recipients, and also from locker providers to change the logistics here. And therefore, I'm looking forward to all the clients, to all partners who are willing or interested in cooperation with us to reach out and let's talk about their constraints, but also about their requirements. And then I'm pretty sure that we're going to find a solution for everyone. So actually, I'm just looking forward to talk to you guys and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Lucas. It was really interesting time being with you, and I wish you and then to One Stop Box good luck because I think out of home industry needs that success story.
Thank you very much, Andre.